Hi there. Today, I'm really excited to be able to bring on one of the new faculty members from our brand new course, Imagininng. And so we are going to have a quick Skype chat over to England with join our faculty. We have a lot of people who already know your work, but why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
I'm Omar. I do paint an awful lot in little sketchbooks. I've got some just here because I've started to bring my sketchbook work into my mainstream licensing work. But this wasn't always the case. I've only been doing this for the last 2.5 years, and before that, it was very much computer generated. Previously, I did have a career as an in-house designer at a business card company, but
But now you're basically a freelance illustrator.
yeah, I am. Yeah,
What sorts of things do you do? Do you do stuff for magazines? Do you make products? What sorts of projects do you have just generally?
I do a lot of branding and packaging for quite well-known companies. I also work with publishers. Done a lot of cookery books, which will be coming out soon, and some magazine work, and the surface pattern and design.
Fantastic. That's exciting stuff. A lot of our students are really interested in what you do and in doing that kind of work themselves. You work mainly in pen and ink and watercolor, right?
Yes, I do. I do include little things like the uniball pen or micron pens. So I add little different elements depending on how I feel that day.
Right. Now, you you're a mom, right? You have a couple of kids. Did they and they're it seems like they're pretty creative too.
Yes, they are. We've just had the summer holidays, and I love that they are creative, but they're incredibly messy. And I don't want to stifle that. But they love to, doodle. My son's really into science fiction and mythology, so he's got a notebook, several notebooks going, and he's always making up characters. Or my daughter's sticking anything together. She will take anything she could find in my bin and she will create something. I haven't got any because I've had a massive tidy up. And the other day she created a frisbee out of paper. That worked really well. So they're creative on many, many levels.
So this course that you are joining us in is called Imagininng. I guess your kids sounds like they're really imaginative, and obviously you are as well. What are some of the sources for your imagination? What are the things that you do to feed your imagination to come up with new ideas?
Well, I think a big thing now for me is going out in person. It's all very well looking on Pinterest or Instagram, but to physically go out and visit stores and think, oh, I like the way they've arranged that, or just seeing actual products and being able to hold them. Sometimes I have a thing about smelling things as well. And I get excited touching things as well, things around me. The autumn is coming, and that is a great source of inspiration. And just looking, but being in that moment, not looking at a screen.
Because nature, I mean, your garden is a beautiful garden, and is that part of your inspiration, nature and things like that? Because you paint a lot of flowers. We can see one right next to you there,
Can you?
right on the wall.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But is that part of your inspiration? Is just the way that nature creates?
I think, in all fairness, I didn't feel confident to create florals until about a year ago. I didn't paint many flowers at all, and I've only just started painting butterflies. But I've always had an interest in flowers. I've come from, I think it probably comes from the fact I'm from a tropical country, And I have vivid memories of my grandmother's garden, which was filled with orchids and birdsong and ferns, and it was all very lush. So I think it must come from that.
Right, exactly.
And you might see from the koshers video, I have an incredible amount of houseplants. I think I'm trying to recreate that.
Excellent. So let me ask you, you're obviously not a teacher, you're an artist, but how do you feel about teaching and how do you feel about this class coming up at Sketchbook School that you're going to be a part of? How did we manage to convince you to join us?
I was already teaching small classes online, but I liked the fact that this one's going to be more in depth, and kosher was able to really sort of permeate my family life, because what is presented in the videos is really just a snapshot of my life. Half my day I spend with my kids. So teaching, I hope the students who see this will think, she's got a family as well. She brings up 2 kids by herself, and if she can do it, I can do it. And I think in the class I talk about time management, and it does get better with time.
One of the things that I love about your class and the lessons that you worked on is that first of all, you do 3 demos. So I don't want to downplay the fact that there's a lot of drawing, a lot of painting, and it's fantastic and really exciting to watch. But also, I think, you show us really what it is to live a creative life. And that's really important to people, which is it's not just a hobby for you, it's your job, but also being a mom is your job and being your own person is your job. And I love, like, we get to see you doing yoga and we get to see you, talking about the importance of looking after yourself and making time for you as part of it. And also, feeding your creativity, all the different aspects of what it takes to be. And it's not just for people who are professionals. I think it's for people who want to take their creativity seriously and want to say, you know what, I want to live a certain kind of life. I don't want to push my art into the corner and only work on it on weekends. I want it to really be part of who I am, because that's what creativity is really about. I think that's fantastic.
You said that very well. Thank you.
Certainly your class is one example of it. It's true, I think, through all the teachers that we have in Imagininng, is to see, what it is to live a life of the imagination. And I think we tend to think of artists as being like, oh, they have their heads in the clouds and they're not realists and so forth. And I'm always impressed by the fact that artists you have to be pretty hard-nosed to be an artist, right? You have to be an entrepreneur, you have to be a time manager, you have to manage your clients. There's all kinds of things to do.
Yeah, it's one of those jobs where you have to wear a lot of hats and juggle a lot of plates.
Does it get in the way? Does your imagination, does all the practicalities of it get in the way of being free with your imagination and inventing stuff?
No, if you can't see my desk at the moment, but I have got little notes everywhere. I think one of the things I saw in Kosher's introductory video that I'm always thinking, and I think why I meditate is actually it grounds me, and I have a tendency to just go off at a tangent because I'm so enthusiastic about so many things, and I'm interested in so many things, like Star Wars, like Jane Austen. No, it's true. I'm a nerd for those subjects. But I'm also really interested in, I got 2 new brushes today. I'm really excited. I have to use them. So I can't help it. It's just there.
Well, that's one of my favorite things in your class is how excited you get. Like, even though we have cameras there and, there's the pressure of performing in front of them, you get so absorbed in the paintings that you're making while we're filming you that you get really excited by it. That's, to me, super cool.
Yeah, I do. I think the first video, I was incredibly nervous. And I did say, oftentimes there goes through a phase when I think this is not going to work out. And I always think to myself, you know what, I'm going to stop. And I'm not joking. There's always 2 seconds when I think, stop. I think I have to start another page. But I'm just going to show you something that happened yesterday. I did this yesterday, and I got to about here, and I thought, it's the wrong colour, it's the wrong shape, but you got to just have the faith and know that you know inside it's going to work. And it was fine. It was fine.
Those pages are absolutely beautiful. Can I see the other one? That one with the rose?
I created the day before. And I'm not joking. I started off with this one, and that was a splodge. If I can hold it, that was a splodge. They were just a series of splodges until I started applying the pen. And I'm hoping it comes across in the videos that it's just intuition leads me to this. I'm not overly happy with this one, the line work in this one, but that's okay. I carried on. That was the first bit of line work I did. And I just got to think, I've learned from this. I don't like the line work direction. Let's choose something different for the others. So it just builds up, and I learn from every single image that I produce. This is another one. This is a wet on wet experiment.
Fantastic.
I know it looks like a series of splodges, but for me, that's quite a big deal.
Well, I'm so glad that you're enthusiastic about what you do, and I think we're going to be as well. Your class is really fun. There's a lot of stuff in it. You have a lot of energy, a lot to share, and that's fantastic. That's what we want. I think people are really going to be inspired by what you get them to do, which is the whole point. So thanks so much for being part of this class and for joining the faculty of Sketchbook School. We're really glad to have you here, not just for this class, but for who knows what in the future. It feels like when people join our faculty, we don't let them just go away after the class. We tend to force them to come back. In fact, we just had a dinner for all of our faculty in New York last week. So it was really nice. We all got together. So we'll have to have one in England sometime, because we've got about half a dozen people in various spots around England, and maybe we can all come over to your house and you can cook for us all or something. But no.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you so much. And Imagininng starts. It's a matter of a week or two, and it will be a fantastic 5-week class. And Ohn Mar is certainly going to be one of the stars of it. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you. Bye for now.